Recording.
Good. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Aberdeen Township regular meeting. This meeting is being held in conformance with the Open Public Meetings Act and has been posted and advertised. And next meeting should be in 2 weeks unless we need a special meeting. You may hear from our manager say something about that. But as of now, I'd like a roll call, please.
Councilman Cannon.
Here.
Councilman Hirsch.
Here.
Councilwoman Kelly.
Here.
Councilwoman Montone.
Here.
Councilman Swindell.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Martucci. Joe, you're muted.
Here.
Mayor Taglerini.
Here, thank you so very much. Michael, would you kindly do the executive session resolution?
Yes, no problem, Mayor. Let me just make sure I'm not muted. Okay. Resolution authorizing Township Council to enter into executive session. Whereas the Township Council are mindful of the right of the public to attend and witness meetings of governmental bodies at which public business is discussed and to be involved in all phases of governmental action. And whereas the Open Public Meeting Act nonetheless recognizes the authority of a public body to exclude the public from meetings in certain enumerated instances in which disclosure of matters discussed could endanger public safety, property, or other public interest or invade individual privacy. Whereas authorized by the Open Public Meetings Act, be it resolved that the Township Council will meet in private session at 6:38 p.m. on September 3rd, 2020 to discuss the following specific items: contractual shared services, road program, potential litigation, ADP program, and personnel. Be it further resolved that the matters so discussed will be disclosed to the public when the need for confidentiality no longer exists.
Good. Can I have a mover on that, please?
So moved.
Second. Okay. All in favor of that?
Aye.
All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to leave you for a while and try to get back on as soon as 7:30 approaches, and we'll see you all back then. If we take any action in the executive session, it'll be duly noted when we come back out for the regular meeting. So we'll see you in an hour. Thank you. Very good. Good evening, everyone. Yeti, good. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the workshop meeting of the Aberdeen Council. This meeting is being held in conformance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice has been given to the newspapers and has been posted in public places. The next meeting of this council will be on September 17th unless we need a special meeting. Roll call, please.
Councilman Cannon.
Here.
Councilman Hirsch.
Here.
Councilwoman Kelly. I think Connie froze. Okay. Councilwoman Montone.
Here.
Councilman Swindell.
Here.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Martucci.
Here.
Mayor Taglerini.
Here, thank you very, very much, Brian. And again, everybody, welcome to the workshop meeting for September 3rd. Brian, would you like to walk us through this, please?
Sure. Okay. So, you want me to do the agenda item first?
Okay.
All right, we got 5 items. I'll do both. I'll do the workshop and then I'll do how we can talk. Do it all at one time. So the first, we have 5 items for tonight. The first ones are appropriating bond ordinances. We have 2 on for this evening. One is for the water reconstruction on Atlantic Avenue, and another one is capital for town hall and for DPW expense. Number 2 is approving. Sorry, I said that one already. Apologize.
I think our manager has froze a little bit.
Sorry, and I'm back.
Good.
Give me a second. That is for the that is to have CME do the engineering services for the water main replacement on Atlantic Avenue. Number 3 is the renewal of liquor licenses for July 1 to June 2020 to June 20th, 2021. And item number 4 is authorizing the application to the County of Monmouth for the Open Space Trust Fund for improvements to Cambridge Park and Ross Field. And number 5 is a performance guarantee release for RPM development. If there's no questions on those, or if there is,
Council, any questions?
all right. The next part I will give is how you can communicate with the mayor and council this evening. Again, if you're doing this just by a phone only, you'll be able to hear the attendees. You'll be able to hear the council and hear questions, but you will not be able to ask a question. But you can send me an email at bryan.russell@aberdeenNJ.org. And if you just send me what you want me to say, I will gladly report that to the mayor and council. Just please send me your name and address. After that, if you have a PC, a laptop, a tablet, or a smartphone, you'll be able to hear the council and hear attendee questions. You'll be able to ask questions by using the raise hand function that you do have with the Zoom, or if you don't have the raised hand, if you go to the bottom of your screen, you have the reaction button. And if you would just hit that, and you can use the thumbs up or the clap, I see that, and I will let you unmute you so you can ask the mayor and council any of your questions as well. And Mayor, back to you.
Very good. Can I have a motion from the deputy mayor to go into the regular meeting?
Yes, Mr. Mayor and my fellow council members, like to make a motion to move from workshop into regular session.
Can I have a second on that, please?
Second.
Very good. Thank you. This meeting is being held in conformance with the Open Public Meetings Act. It has been given to the newspaper and posted in public places. The next meeting will be, and this, I think I will say this, that we think it is September 10th. It will be a special meeting, a one-item agenda item, which we're going to start at 4:30. And Brian, that will probably be to approve a contract with a road project, right?
Yes, that'll be a contract to award for our 2020 road improvement program bid openings that we did just have.
Okay, and that will be a one-item agenda, but with a full agenda of what we're compelled to do with hearing of the citizens and everything else. But I want you to know that that will be the next meeting.
Mayor,
At this
Mayor.
point, yes,
Sorry, it's going to be 2 items. It's going to be the resolution to approve a contract, and it's going to be
Yes.
a liquor license.
okay, terrific, thank you. Got to
Just
get
two,
that
that's
in. Okay, very good, worth our while. So welcome everyone to the Thursday, September 3rd regular meeting for the Aberdeen Township Council. Can I have a roll call, please?
Councilman Cannon,
Here.
Councilman Hirsch,
Here.
Councilwoman Kelly, Councilwoman Montone,
Here.
Councilman Swindell,
Here.
and Mayor Martucci,
Here.
Mayor Tagliarini.
Yeah, thank you very much. Our moment of silence always starts off with thinking of our men and women in uniform protecting us here on our American soil and foreign soil to help us meet in meetings like this. We're also very, very aware of the great work our doctors and nurses are still doing, and for researchers, and may the vaccine come as quickly as we're hearing to get out of this pandemic. So we want to thank everybody, our police, fire, first responders, everyone who has been able to keep this town running. Credit to our manager and our staff of managers that we are, and as you can hear now, we're doing roads, we're doing parks. It's business as usual, but a little tougher to get business done. So thank you for that. I also would like to have all of you have a moment to yourself for any personal intentions you have for this moment of silence. Thank you. And Brian, do you have the flag for the evening? Or?
Yes, sir, I do. I'm all ready.
Okay. Yeah, I am not at home and did not have my trusty flag, so thank goodness our manager has one. So we'll do our pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States. To the republic
For which it stands,
one nation,
one nation,
under God.
indivisible, liberty, and justice for all.
Good. A little overlap, but we got it done. So thank you all very, very much for that. Thank you, Brian. And at this point, would like to call on council members if maybe we could start. Is our chief on?
Yes, our chief is on.
Okay, let's go with a little respect level and ask our chief for our report since the last time we were together. Good evening, chief.
I believe he's muted.
There
Okay,
you
can you hear me now?
There
Good
we go. We
evening,
hear you.
Okay, good evening, Mayor, Council, Manager. Since the last meeting, the COVID numbers are, I think the manager might have a little bit different. We have a total of 267. That's going back to when it started. Right now, we have 5 active cases in town is what our report is.
Wow.
Brian, I don't know if your information is a little bit different than that.
The county sent me a thing today saying 258, but I always err on the side of caution, and we'll probably go with you, chief.
Okay, very good. Other than that, like I said, things are leveling off, and tomorrow's a big day with the indoor dining. We'll see what that brings. As far as personnel, I'm happy to report last meeting, I said we had most of our people back. We're back, everybody except for one who's on quarantine, and we expect that officer back on Tuesday. So we should be at full strength. Our recruits that are in the police academy are progressing well. We've been prepping for the school reopening next week. That's going to take up a lot of our time, trying to help those folks out. There's some questions about crossing guards and how some of the students are going to get to school and get home. So we're going to be assisting, not by transporting, but just monitoring the transportation systems. The seawall, I've been in touch with our vendor. We're pretty close to completing the last phase of the seawall security cameras. We're hoping to have those, get that work started in the next few weeks. And that will complete the run from the gazebo at the beginning of the seawall by the old pool all the way down to the bottom of Beach Drive. So we will have coverage the entire seawall. So we're looking forward to that. We're also, I guess, that our cleanups, Public Works has completed their cleanups. We activated our temporary debris management area after Tropical Storm Isaias, and so we're gathering now. What we're doing, we're gathering documents and figures for our FEMA reimbursement if that happens. I'm not sure that we're going to have a declaration that we can get reimbursed from because of the Texas hurricane, or the Louisiana hurricane rather, that is probably going to take precedent. Finally, we're going to be exploring some ways to create space in the police department. I've spoken to the manager, obviously with the addition of some officers, and we have to create some space. And I'll be talking to CME about some of the ideas that we have. But one idea that we're going to follow up on is scanning of our documents so we can eliminate the hard copies. And that should help us out, create space. Probably something we should have been doing for a while, but we'll get caught up on it. Other than that, everybody is well. Our folks are showing up, doing the job, and hopefully things will improve come this fall. That's about all I have.
Well, Chief, thank you so very much. And as I've been saying right along, we certainly had the right man in the chief's position during this whole pandemic. And we want to thank you for your outstanding service, and of course, your executive staff and your entire department. So thank you so very much on behalf of the council.
Thank you once again, Mayor. And like I said, it's, we couldn't do without all the folks that come to work every day.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chief, very much. I just have couple of things real fast, and then I'm going to ask the council if anybody has any reports to make. Tomorrow, we're going to officially announce that Aberdeen Day has been canceled, but in the same breath, we're doing our very best to come up with some events for that day, which we won't say anything right now, but we'll just put out another announcement or announce it maybe by next week. So it really, really disturbs me personally. I know it disturbs the entire council that we have to do it. But as you know, we get crowds in the thousands for that day, and certainly cannot have that, even with the executive order with the governor saying crowds of 500. We certainly surpassed that at the high school alone. So it hurts us deeply to give up one of our greatest events of the year. It's only going to make it have to be more spectacular, Brian, next year when we come back. And then we'll announce something with the help of Jim Calavelli and Brittany Shea to come up with some events for Saturday the 26th, which we'll announce as soon as possible. And quickly, we want to really reach out and thank Providence Church for hosting and I want to get this right, the Clergy United for Christ group, and they had COVID testing and flu shots, and they gave out voter registration information to over 100 people. And so we want to thank Pastor Lee for doing that. And last but not least, for me, outdoor dining still continues. And of course, tomorrow, we're so thankful that places can have 25% capacity inside, and they're going to keep outside. And Brian and I and building department and the council has been working on extensions, how they might be able to put heaters in there and stay open to achieve the best possible bang for their buck while they're trying to do this. They have been incredibly working hard on staying open, and I hope that we'll continue to support them. And Arthur, if you would be so kind, you know, we know census is starting door to door. Maybe you'd just like to update people about the importance of Census 2020 that you've been doing.
Thank you, Mayor. Absolutely. It's very important that everybody take part in the census. It's not a load of malarkey or the government looking to learn more about what's going on in people's personal homes. It really has to do with the funding we get, the federal funding that we get. It has to do with the amount of representation in Washington that we have. And we all know that we lost some representation back in 2010 because of a lack of participation on filling out the survey forms or answering the door when they go knocking door to door. And the way to stop them from knocking door to door is to just do it online, and they won't bother you. If they don't have a response from you, they're going to knock on your door. And again, I can't tell you how important it is from a municipal standpoint, from a county standpoint, and most important, a financial standpoint. You want to reduce taxes, get us more federal aid, and the more federal aid we have, the less we need from our residents. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman. Any other council person have a report for this evening?
Well, I'd like to report that, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Manager, our gyms are now open starting September 1st, is that correct?
Yes, they are open now as well, yes.
25% capacity.
Yes.
Using masks and social distancing while you're inside. So that's a good thing. And also, thanks to the mayor not being in town, I had the opportunity to marry a lovely couple using our seawall in the gazebo. It was a beautiful night. So there is some normalcy going on now, even though it is through Zoom. So thank God for technology and the opportunity for young people or old people, doesn't matter who they are, to get married and continue to do some of the things that we normally would do. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Any other council person? Because I have to switch my screen to see. Anyone else for a report tonight?
I just wanted to mention that I wanted to thank Brian. I've talked to him a number of times about Atlantic Avenue and finishing up that project, the other half. And I'm happy to see that it's moving forward tonight, and that's a credit to Brian. And I believe Angela's on the call somewhere who
Yep,
was
she's here
able to
too.
put the financing together to finish that much needed road repair. And I also wanted to mention that thank Margaret, Connie, and you, Mayor, for the parks. I know you guys are the Parks Committee, and you got, looks like we have this open space grant applied for Ross and Cambridge, and I look forward to seeing what you guys came up for with that when we get the concept plan for the grant. So those are two very visible parks in town, obviously. One very visible in Strathmore and one very visible in Cliffwood, and I think that those improvements will might go a long way to, I know we've done a lot of park improvements, but they've all been in kind of neighborhoods and stuff. And when we start doing those two that are right out on the street on major intersections, I think people will start to realize that there's parks fixed up everywhere. And I think that'd be great. So thanks guys for bringing those two up next. I think they're two of the most important in town. I look forward to it.
Thank you, Councilman, and Margaret, Connie, myself, the manager, Mr. Colabelli, maybe Brittany, I think are planning a little get-together next week also to discuss some other things for parks. So thank you, Councilman Cannon, for those words, and we'll continue to work under these circumstances. Anyone else for any comment whatsoever? Since I'm not seeing or hearing any, I will move on to the next agenda item, which will be the hearing of the citizens on agenda items only. So if you're reading something tonight about what we're talking about and what actions we'll be taking in a few minutes, now's the time to ask questions and make sure that our manager sees you or hears from you. And we'll certainly take your questions on agenda items only, and we'll do new business later on.
Mayor, I got no one looking to ask any questions at this time.
All right. Well, thank you, Brian. Right now, I'd like to do just a little bit of work that we occasionally do. And this is a proclamation that the DAR, which is the Daughters of American Revolution, have requested about the anniversary of our great Constitution. So we'd like to read this for them, sign it, and send it back to them, and thanking them for bringing this to our attention. September 17, 2020 marks the 233rd anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Continental Convention. It is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to this magnificent document and its memorable anniversary to the patriotic collaboration which will commemorate this anniversary. Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States designating September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week. So it is great pleasure on behalf of the entire council to designate these dates as Constitution Week here in Aberdeen Township. And we wish the Daughters of the American Revolution the very best, and thank you for bringing it to our attention. So thank you all. And Karen, I'll sign that when I see you, and we'll ship it out to them. Thank you so very much. With that, we'll shuffle some papers around and go to the next agenda item, which will be the minutes, in which we'll call on Councilman Hirsch for a motion.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Deputy Mayor, and my fellow council members, I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes of the workshop and regular meeting for May 7th, 2020.
Second.
Councilman Cannon,
Yes.
Councilman Hirsch,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kelly,
Yes.
Councilwoman Montone,
Yes.
Councilman Swindell,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci,
Yes.
Mayor Tagliarini.
Yes, thank you very much. And moving to 9A, I'd like to call on the Deputy Mayor to make a motion for 9 2020.
Mr. Mayor, my fellow council members, I'd like to make a motion to introduce bond ordinance number 9, 2020 on first reading by title and to order the same be published by summary in the September 8th, 2020 issue of the Asbury Park Press, together with notice of its introduction and passage on first reading by title, and that it will be further considered for final passage after a public hearing at the meeting of the Township Council to be held on September 17th, 2020 at 7:30 p.m. in the municipal building of the Township of Aberdeen at 1 Aberdeen Square.
Second.
A bond ordinance providing for the replacement of water mains in and by the Township of Aberdeen, County Monmouth, New Jersey, appropriating $1,900,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1,710,000 bonds or notes of the township to finance the costs thereof. Councilman Cannon.
Yes.
Councilman Hirsch.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Councilwoman Montone.
Yes.
Councilman Swindell.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci.
Yes.
Mayor Tagliarini.
Yes, thank you very much. Now I'd like to call on Councilwoman Montone to present 10-2020 to us.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Tagliarini, Deputy Mayor Martucci, and fellow council members, I would like to make a motion to introduce bond ordinance number 10-220 on first reading by title and to order the same to be published by summary in the September 8th, 2020 issue of the Asbury Park Press, together with notice of its introduction and passage on first reading by title, and that it will be further considered for final passage after public hearing at a meeting of the Township Council to be held on September 17th, 2020 at 7:30 p.m. in the municipal building of the Township of Aberdeen at 1 Aberdeen Square.
Second.
Second.
Just a note, that it will be Zoom broadcasting instead of at the Township of Aberdeen on both ordinances.
Oh, sorry about that.
Ordinance appropriating $625,000 from the Capital Improvement Fund, the Sewer Capital Improvement Fund, and the Water Capital Improvement Fund for various capital, sewer, and water improvements in and by the Township of Aberdeen in the County of Monmouth, New Jersey. Councilman Cannon.
Yes.
Councilman Hirsch.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Councilwoman Montone.
Yes.
Councilman Swindell.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci.
Yes.
Mayor Tagliarini.
Yes, thank you very much. And finally tonight, Councilman Cannon, consent agenda, please.
Yes, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, and fellow council members, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the consent agenda, which consists of resolutions 2020-104, 2020-105, 2020-106, 2020-107, and raffle license RA:1215.
Second.
Second.
Councilman Cannon.
Yes.
Councilman Hirsch.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Councilwoman Montone.
Yes.
Councilman Swindell.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci.
Yes.
Mayor Tagliarini.
Yes, and now I'd like to get to agenda item number 10, which is new business, correspondence, petitions, whatever's on your mind. Just please either raise your hand or text the manager or get a hold of him, and he'll open up the lines to you, and you can ask your question if you have any.
See, nobody at this time.
Okay. Okay, and you're confident of that, right, Mr. Manager? You can peruse one more.
Today I am. Now, checking it one more time, there is
Nah,
nobody.
Yeah,
Nobody.
Terrific, and of course, we trust you impeccably on that. Then if there's no other business to have for tonight, I'll just ask all of you to continue to be safe. The summer's been wonderful, but we're not out of the woods yet. So I'm going to ask you to continue to be as safe as possible. Use your mask and wash your hands and everything else. We love our residents and we want you to be as safe as possible. So with that, I'd like to ask someone to give us a motion to adjourn until next Thursday night or 4:30.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor of that?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, everyone be safe. Council, great seeing you. And Brian will talk. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Hey, Brian,
Yeah.
before you leave, I need to ask you a question if everybody's off.
Yep, no problem.
Okay, I'll leave. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Okay.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.